You know what matchup I dread the most as a Lizardmen main? It's Coast. It's definitely freaking Coast because you know why? Everything about it is difficult. I will go into it more, but we have Hepidors today from RTK up against RTK's very own Torsen. Just a little bit of some RTK feud here. Um, Maybe Hepidors has some secret tech that I don't know about. We'll see. But let's check out that army. We got a red-crested skink chief with on foot. I never ever freaking see this, but clearly Epidor is wanted a very cheap lord that could just, survive a little bit. He doesn't have a lot of armor. He has 50. Does and has some pretty decent stats, 65-45 thanks to frenzy and some nice anti-large weapon strength. So you throw him on like in a fight, maybe you can knock out a few crab models. He's not important. He's just very cheap. He's still important in my heart because he's a cute little skink chief with a big old hammer. Just look at him go. He's happy. But no, yeah, he's very cheap, and that's what matters. The rest is going to be Source Warriors, just a full front line of Source. So Fedor is already after my own freaking heart. Just a cute, adorable little skink red chief as the Lord, and a full front line of Source. I love Source so much, and I definitely wish they were more competitive. So I'm dying to see if it'll pan out like it to be a good idea. I mean, why not? One of them are actually the Legion of Chakwa, Sword Spear R with Shield of Chakwa, which gives them that 40% missile resistance, which is pretty cool. I like that, especially against a super heavy range faction like the Vampire Coast, of course. But yeah, 40% lasts for a whole 25 seconds and has a pretty big range, so I like that very much. I like the Legion of Chakwa. They're very nice. They also have Charge Defense versus Large, of course, and Charge Reflection. But yeah, for the rest of the army, we're gonna have two Feral Cold ones on both flanks, including the Bastillodon of Ark of Sotek. This is gonna be, I think, the snake one. Yeah, I never use it, so I forget about it all the time. Yeah, we'll see how it does. It has a lot of armor, help mitigate all of that non-armor piercing from the pistols, but Ambercus also does have handgunners. So, and one of my most exciting parts for me here with the replay when I first saw it posted was Lord Kroak. You'd never freaking see Lord Kroak, and especially against a range heavy faction like Coast. So I'm so excited to see freaking what do we call it? Deliverance of Pizzas. You just never see this guy. And when you did back in Warhammer 2 or early Warhammer 3 at most, he did just like incredible just wipes of infantry and like range units. It got unfortunately nerfed, but so you stopped seeing him, but I'm still very excited to see him, see how he does. He does have that Supreme Shield load ones, which I forget about all the time. I think it just has like a bigger range and maybe lasts a little bit longer. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's just like a better version slightly, and I just forget about it all the time. But we'll see how it goes. And we'll see how the old man who refuses to die does. And we have two Arcs of the Sotek and a single unit of Chameleon Stalkers get around the flank and help artillery. I always bring one for this matchup as well, so good to see it's somebody else thinks of it too. Got to Count Noctis on foot. He's not special. Who cares? Drown Dead, Melkos, Moondial. You know how it is. Wraithstorm, all the usual stuff. All the usual crimes of war. Deckhand mobs up front. We have gunnery mobs. Very typical Vampire Coast army. We have bombers as well. Do great into skinks, which are fairly often brought in most Lizardmen matchups. And then we have some hand cannons to shoot at any close range cav, or rather shoot any cav or flyers that get too close, and they'll do a lot of damage. Trust me, it hurts. We have double gunnery mob crabs in the back as well. One being obviously the Lamprey's Revenge. You guys know about them. They're deadly. They're scary. Don't like them. Shoot, go away. We also have some Depth Guarded pole arms. Just a single unit of them. They'll do great. And then there's some deckhand mobs or pole arms as well. Yeah, one of the reasons why this matchup is so dreaded is because just the massive amount of missile infantry at the coast, fields, and of course bombers just doing awful work to your skinks and infantry in general, your infantry formations. There's just so much range that the Vampire Coast has to deal with, and not only that, just the basic infantry units cause fear, which obviously is dreaded for your skinks. But yeah, just massive amount of missiles just picking apart your infantry and your an abundance of infantry in general, plus polearms. It's very scary. Either way, we have the Supreme Shuttle. The old one's going down here. It's going to be help mitigating some of that damage that the Saurus are taking here. The Skink Chief's running in there. He's got his Warrior's Crest popped. Going to be buffing up his skills here. And the Bombers are just getting absolutely beaten down. Oh my god, that is beautiful. A Deliverance of Pizza, I think that was there. Just did some wonderful freaking work. That was wonderful. Really good shot there. Bestowed on Arc of Sotek is, however, getting shredded here by the massive amounts of guns, the handgunners, the hand cannons, the freaking gunnery mobs. Just absolutely tearing it apart. And there's no healing here from the Lizardmen side. We have the Wraith Storm, whatever it's called, going down to the Arc of Sotek. The other Arc of Sotek as well, just suffering tremendously. And I'm not surprised at all. They're just big bullet sponges. That armor is helping a lot, but you're dealing with hand cannons and handgunners, which are doing tremendous AP damage, all focused in on that single target. So it makes sense. Feral Cold Ones get in there. Same with the Chameleon Stalkers do shut down those handgunners, which are now disintegrating. Same with the bombers, they have been finished off. I'm sure they got off a volley here or there with their bombs, hopefully, as it sees they actually didn't get any bombs off. Very nicely played, but there's a Lizardman player there stopping those bombs from getting in there on top of your valuable targets. We have another Deliverance Pizza possibly going down here. And how much damage is that going to do? 75, 60, and oh my god, 3,901. I don't know what tiers those are, but they're doing such good work. My god. And that's exactly what Deliverance of Pizza is good for on a bunch of low armored targets like these range units, which are very bunched up because of how much models they have. But the hand cannons do get shut down here by the Feral Cold Ones, which gives the Bastillodon time to catch up along with the other Feral Cold Ones. Very nice. But yeah, the Skink Chief has been beaten down possibly by the gunnery mobs and the Count Noctilus, and it's going to be paying the high toll, the high price, and it's going to be routed off. But he's not going to be easy to finish off because he is an infantry size target, so he's going to be constantly knocked around. But obviously him routing is still not good for the Lizardman leadership. Saurus Warriors running away. Another Feral Cold One charge in there on the deckhand mob. Very nice. These gunnery mobs are shooting in melee. So very bad for the infantry of the Lizardmen. Supreme Shoulder, the old ones going down. Legion of Chakwa popping their Shot of Chakwa. Right now they have 40% missile resistance. Top of that, another 40% ward save, which is very nice. Mitigating quite a bit of that gunnery mob damage. A gunnery mob or deck mob summon going in here, trying to stop the Arc of Sotek from getting away, but I guess it unfortunately is a little bit too late here. Feral Cold Ones are starting to make their way around, also getting a rear charge here. We do have, however, a beautiful pizza coming in here on the deckhand mobs. Oh my god, and the depth guard. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. Obviously, just a bunch of cheap infantry, but even doing some decent damage to the depth card is very nice. Possibly taking off any models? Nope, no models. Just going to be mostly HP damage. Knuckles just grinding away at the Saurus, and the Feral Cold Ones just doing his job here. Kroak coming out here. Gonna have to start throwing hands. He's gonna start throwing those dead, old, freaking mummified, spiritual frog space toad hands, just whacking at zombies, pummeling them, and throwing these magical orbs at them, just magical force at them, just disintegrating those zombies, sending them back into the ground. He's had enough of them. Another Deliverance coming in here. It's gonna do some good work. Yes, it is. It's gonna do a little less this time. That was probably a tier 1 Deliverance of Itza. Who knows? But yeah, just a little bit more chip damage this time. I'm sure the wins for the Lizardman side have got to be really low right now. Arc of Sotek is constantly just being beaten down by Noctilus. The ability is popped there, doing some okay work. Cold-blooded goes down on one of the swords. Got to keep them in the fight. Balance of power, it looks to be very much in Vampire Coast's favor. And I think that has to do a lot with the Count Noctilus and the Bastiladons disappearing. Oh, you know what? Actually, Lamprey's Revenge probably has a big part in that. But yeah, these zombie mobs are gone now, fully disintegrated, not coming back. This one's disintegrating as well, but I'm sure their leadership will probably stabilize. But yeah, full HP Lamprey's Revenge. It's very, very scary. I mean, what can the Lizardmen even do about this? I do think the coast probably has this, but I definitely could be wrong. I mean, some beaten up chameleon stalkers. The leader's gone. Yeah, I think the army losses start kicking in here, and it'll go into coast. But yeah, that's very tough. Then the Lamprey's Revenge stay at this stay at that HP for so long. There's such a scary unit, especially for like balance of power weight, and not only that, just scary in melee at full HP. I mean, just being undamaged for that long. That's definitely one of the scarier units, if not the scariest units on the Vampire Coast roster that you don't want to be leaving at that condition. So, although a very cool build here by Hebadors and very much appreciated by myself, definitely not the best build you could probably bring into Coast. And even then, with some of the better builds I've seen from some ODM players, and like Flying Taco, for example, it's still a very tough matchup, and you're definitely punching upwards. You're trying your best, while the coast players kind of just coasting. I can't think of a better word there. I mean, they're just literally coasting on life. They're just hanging out, chilling, and you're just sweating and fighting for your freaking life here as the Lizardmen. And I definitely always choose to. I've learned to always choose to just ban this matchup and just Skaven. It's not a fun matchup for the Lizardmen, but you know, it's always fun to see somebody try. And Epidore's, yeah, I love the build here. Let's look at the values here. Skink Chief, no surprise there. 299 value, not looking to pick up much. He's just a very cheap melee lord. Though I probably would have kept him, you know, a little away from Noctilus because Noctilus would kick his butt, and including that, the crabs, I'm sure probably did a good chunk to him as well. Though I did obviously, his anti-large might help with that. I was clearly wrong because he took a bunch of shotgun blasts to the face, most likely. Yeah, he just kind of got humiliated, poor guy. There's kind of a reason he's not choosing too often, but again, a cheap lord, good. Anyways, moving on. 2145 here on Lord Kroak. I mean, that's pretty good. Hey, it's pretty good. I would say he definitely paid for himself, but I could be wrong. But I'll put that value up here. I'm gonna gamble and say yes. Is the Dreadosaurian right? Who knows? Maybe potentially. Yes, I'm gonna say yes. Anyways, yeah, Dilmers to Pizzas. Very fun to see. Great against unarmored infantry, bundles of infantry. Great. I'm surprised. He also has a bit of missile resistance. I didn't go over that, but he does have a little bit of missile resistance. I think like 25%, 15. I could be wrong. So it does help with like those pistol mob gunfire, the volleys. So I'm sure even if they shot at him, he is a fair distance away as he can cast those deliverance of pizzas. And the missile resistance obviously helps mitigate quite a bit of it. And of course, there's other targets like the Bastiladons. Yeah, very cool seeing those go out there. Obviously, as much as it helped, they didn't clear stuff out fast enough, I suppose. The range units were such a big issue, and as I said, Vampire Coastland just filled so many of them that even if like you nuke one or two early game, like say within 2 or 3 minutes of the game, you're still gonna be like down so much in value because of just how many there are. And of course, Noctilus is constantly summoning gunnery mobs, or rather, Vampire Coast mobs. So yeah, it's very tough. But loved seeing those just go out, just nuking zombies. So fun. 532 here on Chameleon Stalkers. Um, which there's like no cannon to get on top of, but obviously they can like sneak in and try to get on top of a hand cannon mob, but they'll be spotted before that. So, but like at least they're. I just wish their little explosives were better. The little fire explosives, they just suck so badly. They've always been trash. Some say they were going to Warhammer 2, but I don't remember that. But in Warhammer 3, they're just horrendous. I want them to be good, so I bring them on occasion just to get on top of artillery pieces. But yeah, usually they're not the best. 767 on the Legion of Chakwa. Everything else, nothing too spectacular. Feral Code ones obviously get shot like take one volley and they get freaking rampaged. So I feel for them. Yeah, Lord Kroak, he tried his best. But all he can do his best. 1806 on the man himself, Noctilus. No surprise there. He is the man, the myth, the legend. And he's got a super cool pirate hat to go with. Just giving you a look over the values. Yeah, I mean, nothing in particular did it fantastic. We have 973 on these handgunners. Hand cannons didn't do great. The Lamprey's Revenge obviously did fantastic. The other one did okay, 923. Yeah, we already know where all the values typically going to be in this build, or at least from most Vampire Coast builds. It's going to be on the Lamprey's Revenge, Noctilus, or any other possible gun, running with meeting gunnery mobs. But yeah, that was a fun match. Love Team Saurus. Wish they were more competitive. But, a Saurian can hope. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you guys later.